No, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If Khamzat wins, it's a disaster, actually, because you know you can't tell me that a part of you is just like thinking this fight actually might not happen.
I'm just gonna say what I'm concerned about when it comes to Khamzat's next fight against Dricus du Plessis. I am really worried that Khamzat Chimaev is headed into a fight where he may not win.
That is a fair point by Dean Thomas. Now, Khamzat Chimaev hasn't been the most reliable guy. The reality is, when you look at his record here on Tapology, he has pulled out of 6 fights.
Experts aren't holding back as the Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis fight faces brutal backlash from fans and insiders alike. Meanwhile, Dean Thomas voiced serious concerns over the matchup, suggesting that a Khamzat Chimaev victory could create major complications for the division. He also questioned whether the fight would even take place, pointing to Chimaev's past weight issues.
No, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If Khamzat wins, it's a disaster, actually, because you can't tell me that a part of you is just like thinking this fight actually might not happen.
And even if Chimaev does make it to the cage, Thomas casts doubt on his ability to consistently make weight in the division moving forward in case he wins.
Some of these guys are just habitual in terms of not making it to the dance, and there's a part of me.
This one though, right? He's got to be dead.
Well, no, I'm not going to be pessimistic about it and say he's going to show up. But my point is that if he does show up and he does win, do we trust him to be able to fight again? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing, is like, can he do it twice, 2 or 3 times? Because we need movement. Like, I hate when it's just like static, when there's no movement in these divisions. And in order for there to be movement in the divisions, the champions have to fight.
Building on the uncertainty surrounding the main event, Caio Borralho revealed that he's been positioned as the backup for the title clash against Dricus du Plessis should Islam Makhachev fail to make weight.
Crazy news. Go for it.
I told you, Chimaev is not the guy that make the rules in this room. And I told everyone that. Now, I'm the backup from the fight against Dricus and Chimaev. Because they know I'm the guy that they can call and I can save the show. I can go there being ready with will of getting this out if this opportunity comes to me. And they know I'm the guy that they can call and do the shit. They already tried to book me and Chimaev on International Fight Week, and I said yes right away, and he said no.
It could be with anyone, you know, like being backup of any fight, any title fight, even any 2 competitors, you know, would be very nice to be, you know, because it shows that UFC are counting on you to maybe save the show, or counting on you as #1 contender, you know. So I'm definitely very happy with this position that I am right now, even with all the risks that I need to make weight twice and all that. And but yeah, I heard that Khamzat is doing very good. He's doing very okay. He's training camp, he's healthy and all that. I don't know how is his weight.
Furthermore, Borralho is already preparing for the possibility and made it clear he intends to capitalize fully if the opportunity arises.
When the UFC didn't tell me anything, they just asked me to be the backup, and I said yes, and very happy with this position right now, you know.
So how they gonna trust this motherfucker to be a fucking backup? He's not the one. I'm the one, and I'm ready. I'm the backup. I'll be there in Chicago. I'm gonna make weight. If this fucking fight doesn't happen, I'm going 3 weeks after to Paris, and I'm gonna kill this guy and put my name on the #1 contender. The only thing that I know is that they called me last week, like around almost 1 a.m. And my manager called me and said, oh, Hunter just called me and wanted you to be the backup. Do you agree? And I said, yes, right away. And that's pretty much it. No, nothing more.
Confirming that plan, Michael Bisping noted that a bout between Nasruddin Imavov and Caio Borralho had been in the works, but the UFC opted to prioritize Borralho as the backup for the title fight. The UFC ensures that they have a dependable backup should Khamzat be unable to compete.
By the way, if it doesn't happen, the backup fighter is Caio Borralho. I thought Nasruddin Imavov versus Borralho was going to go ahead at some point, but Borralho just confirmed he will be there in Chicago. If Khamzat can't make it to the fight, if he fails on the scale, if he gets sick, if he gets food poisoning, or Dricus du Plessis just doesn't fancy it, Kyle Borhayo will be stepping in.
Additionally, Bisping commented on the matchup, emphasizing Khamzat Chimaev's dominance across various weight classes. He highlighted Chimaev's talent for finishing fights and his quick ascent, dominating top-tier opponents with ease. Bisping also praised his wrestling, calling it the best in the UFC.
The man is a finishing machine. He is an absolute monster, okay? He is undefeated. He's gone through most people like a hot knife through butter, okay? And we're talking world-class competition, people like Robert Whittaker. The way that he dismantled Li Jingliang was just phenomenal. He's got great boxing. The wrestling is probably some of the best in the UFC. In fact, probably the best in the UFC right now. Nobody shoots like Khamzat Chimaev from about a mile away, but he's so fast and so explosive. He level changes, then woof, he flies across the octagon, and all he's got to do is get a hold of you, and you are in a world of trouble.
Adding to Din Thomas's concerns, Michael Bisping acknowledged that questions around Khamzat Chimaev's reliability are completely warranted. He pointed out Chimaev's history of inconsistency, emphasizing that his ability to show up and make weight consistently remains a legitimate concern.
That is a fair point by Dean Thomas. Now, Khamzat Chimaev hasn't been the most reliable guy. The reality is, when you look at his record here on Tapology, he has pulled out of 6 fights. Now, of course, he was supposed to fight Robert Whittaker. That was supposed to go down in June 2024, ended up going down in October. He was supposed to fight Paulo Costa.
Did you say you want to fight now? You want to fight me?
So he was supposed to fight Nate Diaz. That's 3 cancelled bouts.
Hey,
Khamzat, if you in there, don't be a bitch. My boy's right here. Fight him. Quit talking my name. And anybody in...
And then there's 3 fights with Leon Edwards. Now, first of all, the 3 fights with Leon Edwards, that was probably because of COVID. That was 2020 and 2021. I can't remember the exact details, but fights were dropping off left, right, and center because of COVID. So
Bisping further emphasized that Khamzat Chimaev's issues extend beyond just making weight and canceled bouts. He noted that Khamzat's lack of activity is also a problem, pointing out that the fighter has struggled to maintain a consistent presence in the octagon.
All right, so yeah, he's had 6 cancelled bouts. But when you look at Khamzat Chimaev, yeah, he's brilliant to watch and he's very interesting. He's a compelling character. But he doesn't fight too frequently either. In 2024, he only had 1 fight against Whittaker. 23, only 1 fight against Usman. He did have 2 fights in 2022 and 2 fights in 2021. If you're going to be the champion, you got to defend. And Khamzat Chimaev has got a very good chance of becoming the champion. And of course, there were some struggles with visas and stuff like that, but that seems to have all been taken care of. You know, Dana White knows a few people in powerful places, and of course, the fight's going down in Chicago, so getting to the US isn't an issue, so don't worry about that. The main thing that he should worry about, Khamzat Chimaev, is Dricus du Plessis.
But beyond the drama, analysts have raised sharp tactical questions. Analyst and commentator Lucas Tracy expressed concern over Chimaev's chances against Dricus du Plessis. Tracy suggested that if Chimaev strays from his usual aggressive style and alters his game plan, it could signal a lack of confidence and possibly indicate that he's already mentally compromised heading into the fight.
I'm just gonna say what I'm concerned about when it comes to Khamzat's next fight against Dricus du Plessis. I am really worried that Khamzat Chimaev is headed into a fight where he may not win. Okay, like, let's just be honest here, guys. There is serious cause for concern, because if Khamzat Chimaev does something different in this fight, if Khamzat Chimaev goes out there with a different approach, it's an indication that he is already mentally defeated.
Furthermore, building on his earlier analysis, Lucas broke down the strategic crossroads Khamzat Chimaev faces. According to Tracy, Chimaev has 2 clear options: stick to his trademark hyper-aggressive style that kicks off within the opening seconds, or pivot toward a more measured, energy-conserving approach.
The extremely aggressive style that Khamzat has always implemented, where in the first 10 seconds of his fights, he level changes, runs across the octagon, and puts everything into trying to get a submission in the first round. That's option 1, aggressive Khamzat. That's the one that we always see. That's the one that got him to the dance. Or does he take option 2, path number 2? Does he change his style and be patient, bide time, focus on the fact that this is a 5-rounder and things could go wrong?
In contrast, Tracy pointed out that Dricus du Plessis doesn't same burden. DDP simply needs to show up and fight, whether it's a fast finish or a drawn-out 5-round battle, without the pressure of making a pivotal stylistic decision.
Dricus just needs to show up. Dricus is not in the same predicament. Now, that's not to say that Dricus du Plessis can't have a bad game plan, which could cost him a fight. It's not to say that the game plan doesn't matter, but Dricus, on the other hand, is not in the same stressful position where he has to make that crucial decision, right? Because Dricus, I mean, listen, he just has to show up to the press conference, make a couple of wisecracks, and he's got to show up to the fight as a tricky customer. And that's always, you know, good enough for Du Plessis. I'm not concerned because, again, there's many options for Dricus Du Plessis.
Meanwhile, Caio Borralho weighed in with a different perspective, suggesting that this could potentially be the last time Khamzat Chimaev competes. He pointed out that if Chimaev captures the title, he would become the first Chechen UFC champion. According to Borralho, the pressure surrounding that moment is significant, and ultimately, only Chimaev knows how much it's affecting him.
I think it can be last time for sure, because if he becomes a champion, he'll be the first Chechen champion of the UFC, and that's what his people want, you know. So there's too much pressure on him and all that with the I think Kadyrov over there and all this, and you know, maybe only Khamzat knows that, you know, like he has a lot of money already. He's making a lot of money on this fight, and if he becomes champion, like what else, you know? Only maybe come up on a 205 and do a bigger fight with a champion or something like that. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Bedtime MMA outlined the possible outcomes, stating that if Dricus Du Plessis defeats Khamzat Chimaev, a bout with Reinier de Ridder could be next. However, he noted that de Ridder may still need one more fight to solidify his position as a legitimate title contender. On the other hand, if Chimaev comes out on top, a rematch scenario is likely to unfold.
I think Reinier de Ridder needs one more fight before he gets to the title shot. Now, if Dricus beats Khamzat, bro, I'm not saying Dricus is going to lose to Khamzat, bro. I'm just saying if he doesn't win, then I don't think that Khamzat will fight Dricus, bro. Like, I think that, bro. I think if Dricus wins, bro, he's going to have to defend against Reinier de Ridder. But I'm going to pick Khamzat. So I think that if Khamzat wins, we're probably gonna get like a Dricus Khamzat rematch.
Offering a deeper look into Khamzat Chimaev's mindset and fighting style, Lucas Tracy noted how closely the two are intertwined. He described Chimaev as entering the octagon already dialed in, sprinting across the cage, screaming, and radiating the belief that no one on the planet can stop him. That intensity fuels a style built on overwhelming pressure, disregarding cardio management, and aiming to finish opponents instantly like a hitman on a mission.
I also worry about the mentality for Khamzat. I really worry about it because, listen, Khamzat Chimaev's style is perfect for his mentality. His mentality is perfect for his style. When Khamzat Chimaev goes into that cage and they're announcing him, he's running around the octagon, he's screaming, right? He's amped up, and then he looks at you like this, and then he runs across the octagon. He's thinking, man, nobody on this planet can stop me. I don't give a f about, oh, managing my cardio, right? It's a 5-rounder, it's a 3-rounder. No. He's gonna go out there to try to bulldoze you. He's going out there like a hitman, trying to take you out instantly.
However, Michael Bisping offered a more optimistic outlook on Khamzat Chimaev's future, stating that a win over Dricus Du Plessis could mark a turning point in his career. Bisping believes that if Chimaev becomes champion, he will prove his critics wrong by consistently making weight and maintaining an active schedule. He added that if Chimaev gets past Du Plessis, there may be no one left in the middleweight division capable of stopping him.
I think if he can beat Dricus, and that's a big if. It's a very big if, okay? I don't know if he can. I'd probably lean towards Dricus Du Plessis, but if he does do it, it remains to be seen whether or not that will be a disaster. I think he will fight more frequently because he'll be the champion of the world. He'll want to get back in there. He'll want to show everybody. And to be honest, if he beats Dricus Du Plessis, who's going to beat him? I don't know if Caio Borralho's the guy. I don't know if Nassourdine Imavov is the guy either. If Khamzat Chimaev can beat Dricus Du Plessis, I don't know if anyone can beat him.
But Mark Hume, teammate and sparring partner of Dricus Du Plessis, weighed in, expressing full confidence in DDP's momentum.
Let me tell you, that man is on a roll, bro. When he says you're going to be surprised, I believe you're going to be surprised.
According to Hume, Du Plessis is on a roll and ready to silence the doubters once again. He cautioned those underestimating the South African, pointing out that Du Plessis remains undefeated in the UFC and has consistently defied the odds as the underdog in every major bout.
But I would say be careful what you think, in the sense of, I mean, Dricus has not lost in the UFC once, right? He's not lost once. Every single time he's been the underdog. You know how much money people have made on Dricus du Plessis. So I mean, if people want to be stupid and put their money on a Chechnyan war, then do it. I'm gonna laugh at you afterwards.
In addition, Bear DeGidio weighed in on the ongoing discussion surrounding Khamzat Chimaev, calling him one of the hardest working athletes in the UFC. He expressed confidence that Chimaev will make weight and dismissed concerns about his professionalism.
We're here with the future champion, Khamzat Chimaev, one of the biggest gangsters the UFC's ever seen. Honestly, one of the hardest working guys, one of the most polite guys. I think he's kind of misunderstood. That's Sweep over there. Sweep looks like he's ready to corner Khamzat.
However, Tracy raised an important question about what happens if Chimaev opts for a more patient approach. Historically, Chimaev's performance has dipped after the first round, and Tracy questioned whether his team would gamble on changing a formula that has driven his success.
When Khamzat Chimaev came in here, he scared me. He looked at me in the eyes, he stole my soul, and at that point I realized this man could kill me with one single bite. Not like Vampire, but more of like a, arm bar to rear naked choke to reverse darts to my teeth falling out bite. And at that point, I realized I better show up with gifts moving forward for the rest of camp.
In my culture, Sweep, we always bring gifts. And I know Khamzat's the most stylish guy in the UFC, so we got him the brand new solid silver Jackson chain.
Moreover, against a dangerous and durable opponent like Dricus du Plessis, any deviation from what Chimaev does best could be a significant risk. And not just that, it shows that Khamzat does not believe in himself to get the win.
What if he goes in with the little patient Khamzat approach? Like this. Does he go in like this? Now listen, this is actually Khamzat at a pre-fight press conference before he smoked Robert Whittaker, but this is the press conference where he's like this. My point is, does Khamzat go into the cage like this? Where he's like, because Khabib, it's easy for Khabib to talk because Khabib had a phenomenal gas tank and he could push a crazy pace that was good for 5 rounds, but Khamzat's gas tank is not as good. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Khamzat Chimaev has a terrible gas tank because I don't think it's terrible. But let's be honest, he doesn't have a great gas tank.
Interestingly, Gilbert Burns and Renato Moicano have both stepped forward with their picks for the upcoming clash, siding with Dricus du Plessis as the likely victor. Burns went a step further, predicting that the bout will end via TKO in the later rounds, citing du Plessis' durability and ability to break opponents down over time.
It's an indication of doubting yourself to begin with, in a way. It's like going into the fight, in a way, already kind of defeated. That's a problem.
As the clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis looms closer, the atmosphere surrounding it is anything but certain. With weight concerns, stylistic dilemmas, and rising pressure from all sides, what was once a highly anticipated showdown now feels more like a high-stakes gamble. But if you enjoyed the video and are excited about this matchup, hit the like button and share it with your fellow MMA fans. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us in the comments who you think will win this fight. Stay tuned for more exciting updates in our next video.